This series is not meant to be an accurate representation of the current NASCAR Cup Series. This is a fictional series, ran on NR2003 for enjoyment. I hope you enjoyed today's race.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the NR2003 simulation season live with a round of 8 from Michigan Speedway. We're ready to go racing on this big 2-mile fast racetrack to find out who the next two drivers will be eliminated from the playoffs are. Last week, it was Kyle Larson and Austin Dillon who were eliminated. Who will it be this week? Looks like we're ready to get the engines fired and cars on track to answer that very question. Here in just a moment, we'll take you trackside for the command.
Drivers, start your engines.
And just like that, engines roar to life on pit lane. Starting lineup for today's race: Martin Truex Jr., William Byron on the front row. Find your favorite driver where they're going to be starting this afternoon. Playoff drivers have the playoff symbol next to their name. These playoffs have been absolutely crazy so far. Last week in Martinsville was an insane race. Never would have thought that it would end up that way. Graphic on screen is what to look for in a playoff driver. You'll notice the yellow banner on the windshield, the yellow splitter, and the yellow spoiler. If they have that, they are eligible for a championship. The last two finishers of that group will be the ones that are eliminated today. But right now, hands of the field and Martin Truex Jr. Off of turn number 4, Truex is going to look for the flag stand and look for the green flag. He's going to see it. We're racing in the round of 8. And already, some 3-wide action. Three Hendrick Motorsports cars battling for the second position. Only one of those is in contention for the playoffs. You got to go a little further back to find the fourth one. Down into turn number 1. Already the racing extremely exciting here in Michigan. Oh, you can see Larson moving up the racetrack just slightly. Oh, man. We've got, Alex Bowman. Hard hit into the inside wall. We're going to get a replay of what just happened to Alex Bowman. Off of turn 4, some contact between Cindric and Bowman. Oh, and Bowman just impacts the sand barrels at the end of pit road. We'll get another look at it. Another look. See Cindric get spun down pit lane. Very dangerous. You see Bowman just with a huge impact to the sand barriers. And that car is done for the day, and Alex Bowman's chances look like they are going to go up in smoke for a championship. Get one more look at Austin Cindric's spin. You can see Cindric, he just gets spun down pit lane. I don't think he makes contact with any wall or anything. But a very dangerous situation on pit lane. A couple drivers coming to pit lane as well. Martin Truex Jr., William Byron, and Kyle Larson. Interesting play here for these drivers to come to pit lane this early. And they'll actually go by Alex Bowman as that team really trying to work on that race car. We'll be back with the green flag from the round of 8 here in Michigan in a moment. Almirola, Bell, Busch, Elliott, Suarez, your top 5. And we're back. Live here from Michigan Speedway. Being told that the 2 and the 48 did not meet the damaged vehicle policy. Alex Bowman will be eliminated from playoff contention. So one other driver will have to be eliminated. We're going to find out who. Green flag back out here in Michigan. Almirola now with the lead. Suarez and Elliott, the 2 highest playoff cars. Nose to tail down into 3 and 4. A little contact with Kurt Busch in the 20 of Christopher Bell. As Bell goes for the lead. Put the 20 to the front. So Christopher Bell moves himself to the lead. A little bit of damage on the side of Bubba Wallace's car. Ahead of them a little bit is Ross Chastain. A little bit of 3 wide, 4 wide action. Ooh, tight racing there with Chris Buescher. Oh, we got an accident again in the back of the pack. Cody Ware and the 78 of BJ McLeod gets spun around. So those 2 cars take a spin. But no caution. Cars did not hit anything. And while all that was going on, we had a change for the lead. Denny Hamlin. Daniel Suarez in second. Oh, and we got a playoff car into the wall in the back. It's Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick hard into the outside wall. Heavy, heavy damage. We're going to take a look at what happened to Harvick on the back straightaway. Playoff drivers having a ton of issues today. See Harvick just to the outside of McDowell, a little bit of contact, and Harvick hard into the outside wall, damaging that car big time. We'll take another look at it. Going to be on the roof of Kevin Harvick here. There's the contact, and there's the impact into the wall. Heavy hit. And now we're back live. Harvick is now in that elimination spot, because the 19 of Truex, who had pitted on that first caution, has gotten back by him. So a lot of troubles for playoff contenders today. Back at the front of the field, The 21 is a lap down. He is about to go a lap down. He is not in contention for the win. Harrison is 1 lap down. Or excuse me, Harrison is not a lap down. Harrison is up here battling for the lead. The only reason I thought he was a lap down was this is the highest running position he has had this season. So Harrison turning some heads here in Michigan. Could he get his first ever Cup Series win here today and play spoiler for some of these playoff guys? Denny Hamlin looking to the inside of his team car, the 45. So Hamlin back to the front, but behind him, battling between the 21 and a few Toyotas. Kyle Busch, the highest running playoff car at the moment. Well, Almirola got very high in turn number 2. Moved up the racetrack a little bit. Suarez and Elliott are the next 2 playoff cars. Skip one, find Chastain. Chastain in the 11th position right now. Now fighting with Chase Elliott for a position. Elliott 10th, Chastain 11th. But switch it up, Chastain in front of Elliott. There's been no change in the drivers in the elimination position. Kevin Harvick with some significant damage to that race car, and as has been documented, Alex Bowman out of this race after a hard crash. Kevin Harvick, ooh, a little contact there between the 10 and the 3. Austin Dillon was completely out of shape. That actually is going to lose Almirola a position. Tight racing back here. There's Martin Truex Jr. He made a pit stop early in this race. Truex strategically picking his way through the field at the moment. Truex being shown all the way in 20th position at the moment, working on the 22 of Joey Logano for a position. Looks like Truex moved him up a spot. Next car ahead. Oh, we got an accident. Ross Chastain. Oh, Tyler Reddick. We got a huge accident. Timmy Hill involved. Tyler Reddick involved. Corey LaJoie involved. Brad Keselowski's car is destroyed. And the yellow flag will fly again here in Michigan late in this one. We're going to get a look at what happened. Some hard impacts on their back straightaway. And here we are taking a look. Some contact with Chastain and Reddick. Sends Reddick and Buscher with a hard hit. Keselowski with a hard hit. So hard impacts all around for these cars. We'll get another look at it. Taking a look at this impact for Chastain right there. That is going to hurt that race car. Impact for Keselowski. Hill, another shot for Chastain. And hard hits all around for a lot of these drivers. 77 with some damage. Looks like Chastain again going to go back up and he'll keep it out of the wall that time. You're going to see the 4 car sneak through just barely right there. We'll look at it one more time. We've slowed this down a lot. Look at the impact for Tyler Reddick. That was the first shot that he took. He gets hit again here. Barely by Chastain, but this last hit right here on the rear end to spin around again and get hit right square in the rear end. That's a hard hit. That car was off the ground. Same thing with the 15 of Ryan Preece. Heavy damage there as well. Got our in-car shot here of William Byron. We'd slowed it down a little bit for you. You can see the damage and debris just everywhere. Byron barely going to make it past the 7 of LaJoy. Also take a look at Kevin Harvick just to see how close he was. We'll see that in a second here. Show this full speed. That is how close Harvick was to being involved in this one. We are back live. Kurt Busch, your leader, and the developing story with Alex Bowman out of this race. Ross Chastain, they've taken that car too much suspension damage. They've taken that car to the garage. Alex Bowman and Ross Chastain, being out of this race, cannot advance their position anymore. Those 2 drivers will be eliminated from the playoffs. We'll be back in just a moment with the green flag from the round of 8 at Michigan. Welcome back to Michigan, round of 8. Ready to go back green flag racing. It has been crazy. Pace car pulls in. Field in the hands of Kurt Busch. Into the restart zone they come. Green flag back in the air. We're racing again. A big sigh of relief from every playoff driver, because the 1 car was eliminated. They took that car to the garage. The rest of these cars that are on the racetrack that are playoff cars can't be scored any lower than the 1 in the 48. Every playoff car that is on the track right now will make it to the round of 6. Ooh, and we got a bunch of cars pitting here. A lot of cars coming down to pit lane. Now, we had questioned the early pit stop by Martin Truex Jr. Now, that early pit stop, that could potentially win him this race. And that would be his 2nd win. In the playoffs. This would be monumental for Truex. Same thing with Suarez. But we'll be curious to see where the rest of these cars come back onto the racetrack. Here they are, flowing back onto the track. The 45 and the 11, they were leading the race before. But I don't think Truex is going to come back down to pit lane, so he has the advantage here. All these cars are going to be going a lap down. If these cars that just pitted are a lap down, and Truex is not going to come to pit lane, I'm going to assume that Truex can make it on fuel. But there's a pass for the lead right there. Kyle Larson. Remember, Larson extremely good at Michigan. Can Truex come up here and pass him back? It is the last lap. Kyle Larson, easy into turn number 3. Nothing fancy. Kyle Larson off a 4. He's going to get his second win of the season at Michigan. And Larson, very familiar with how to get it done in Michigan. Highest finishing playoff driver, Martin Truex Jr. And we've already established Ross Chastain and Alex Bowman. They are going to be eliminated from the playoffs. Kyle Larson plays spoiler. He's going to come on the front straightaway and he's going to burn it down to celebrate a spoiler win here in Michigan. And here comes Kyle Larson. He loves Michigan. He's won here multiple times, and today he goes back to victory lane again. Eliminated in the playoffs last week. A chip on his shoulder when he came into Michigan here. You could see it when he was walking through the garage that he had something to prove, and he does that today with a win in Michigan. Kyle Larson, if he still was in the playoffs, he would be a dangerous driver, but nonetheless, still a dangerous driver for the rest of the year to maybe win some races and spoil some for these other playoff drivers that are still eligible for the championship. But today is Kyle Larson's day. He goes to victory lane. Kyle Larson plays playoff spoiler as he goes to victory lane today in Michigan. The rest of the field, their finishing order will come across your screen now. As I said, Martin Truex Jr., the highest finishing playoff driver, seemed like he had it in the bag. And Larson had a little bit left in the tank here in the end and was able to go to victory lane. As we're taking a look through the finishing order here, it was a wild day in Michigan. Unfortunately for Ross Chastain and Alex Bowman, both of those drivers will be eliminated from the playoffs. Bowman with a massive wreck in the beginning of the race took him out of contention early. And Ross Chastain being involved in an accident on the back straightaway. Too much suspension damage for him to continue, and that's why both of those drivers are eliminated. Only 6 drivers remain going into what we think is the biggest wild card race of the playoffs, Talladega. Next week is the round of 6 and the last round before we determine our championship 4. The drivers that will be racing in the playoffs next week are as follows: Martin Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, and Daniel Suarez will race next week in Talladega for a chance to go for a championship. We hope to see you then, the biggest wild card race next week. Tune in, it'll be a good one.